Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Black Hammer once again, and today, as you see to my, it'd be your left or something like that. As you see, we are going to be doing most of the spoilers that's been coming out for the past week and a half. Unlike other YouTubers, where every time they release 10 cards, they'll post a video explaining. It's like, that's doing a lot. I work 10-hour days. I'm constructing, new builds, and it's like, bro, I ain't got that kind of time to be just, making separate videos of 10 cards that come out. So here I'm going to do the whole entire list, bro. We about to run through this quicker than, a newborn's diaper. You know what I'm saying? Like, just boom, look at the card, give some critiques on it, my opinion, which may not be worth too much to you, but that's cool. It's whatever. And we're just going to go through it, see some cards that we can really expect to change standard, and look at cards that is, for limited or drafting or just complete doo-doo butter cards, which I think is a lot. But I'm going to change all this, and you're going to just hear my voice because I'm pretty sure it's going to be hard for you guys to kind of see it. I did some test videos, and it's really hard to see if it's like in this format. So I'm going to make my face disappear. I know you're gonna miss it. Go ahead, take a screenshot, and then you can keep that. You know what I'm saying? But right now we're gonna change it. You're gonna hear my voice, and we'll just run through these cards and see what the hell these people are doing. Let me boom, right there. All right, so we are going to talk about this first one, which is a very very popular one, and I think it is. One is a one swamp drop sorcery speed, and it is common, which is the crazy part. But it says in its kicker for 3, it says destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 2 or less. If this spell was kicked, instead destroy target creature or planeswalker. So this right here, bro, this is normally a rare card. I don't know why I mean, it's cool because it's probably going to be somewhat cheaper, but bro, like, everybody and their mama's going to be running this card. You can, in the early game, if you're playing an aggro deck, go ahead, spend one swamp. That's all it takes is one swamp. They could have made this a 2-drop, or even a 3-drop would have been like, oh, average. But you can go ahead, get rid of a small threat, pretty much any mono red creature that they like to run, and boom, you're done. One swamp. Or you can kick it for what, 4, and get rid of any creature or any planeswalker. No questions asked, hands down. 3, like 630. You know what I'm saying? Like, straight to the point, nothing else, just pay for it. So it's like, bro, I think this is going to be ridiculous. And it's cards like this that's going to make the party mechanic garbage. They're pushing this party mechanic while also presenting cards that will crush that mechanic, and we'll see why. But this one, we got a 3-drop Snare Caster. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce these weird names that they just randomly throw alphabets at, like but Snare Caster is a 3-drop creature elf rogue, and it has reach, and it's 1/4. So more so drafting or limited, I'm assuming. I don't really play neither, but I hear a lot of people say that, so I'm just gonna say it seems like one of those formats, because ain't nobody in their right mind playing a 3-drop for a 1/4 with reach. Not gonna happen. Next we got Emira Captain. It's a 4-drop creature, angel warrior with flying and vigilance. It says when Emira Captain enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature in your party with for each creature in your party, and it's a 1/1. Not gonna work. If you, it could, if you have a nice handful of 1-drops, a nice handful of 2-drops, and a couple of these, because then it'll guarantee you when it enters the battlefield, you have a nice board state. But even that is going to be a little shaky. I mean, you're going to hear me say this time and time again. Having a board state in standard, especially now, like I've been playing Magic for 3 years, it's really hard to have a nice solid board state in standard. So good luck having a nice party, but you know, just like coronavirus is just gonna take them all out. You know what I'm saying? Let's move to the next one. We got Taunting Arbormage. It is a 3-drop creature, elf wizard. Nice green wizard. Okay, it has kicker 3, so it could be 6-drop. Okay, it says when Taunting Arbormage enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, all creatures able to block target creature this turn do so. Once again, it's a just like it's a flavor text, eyes on me. It's a good distraction. Just like, I forget his name, but it's like a 7/8 drop that's in standard right now, and it has, you know, better stats than this. It has strength at 8 and toughness 5. So I mean, and all creatures have to block it who can. And just that alone is like fighting an 8/5 creature, and then when it dies, you draw 3 cards. It's like, that's kind of worth it. I like that. But this is like, you know, I guess, sure. Like, once again, I don't think it's standard. More like draft, limited, all that good stuff. All right, we got Priest of Ona, something like that. So 1-drop, rare, creature, human cleric. Says when Priest of Ona's power is equal to the number of creatures in your party. Once again, well, let's read the rest of it. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you have a full party, target creature gets +1/+1 and gains flying until the end of turn. It's cool if you kind of put it in a bubble and just on paper. Okay, this is important. If it's on paper, it's a bomb card. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it could do some crazy things, and it's a 1-drop. So you can, you know, it's going to be an aggro-ish party type feel. That's what I'm thinking people are going to build towards, and including myself. I'm a content creator. I'm going to build a party. I'm going to have a party. I'm not really good at aggro-ish decks, but it'll be fun to do. But knowing how people can somewhat break, you know, cards, I think is going on paper is going to look good. But if you go against a somewhat of a control deck, it doesn't have to be a full-blown control, every spot board wipe in their build type deck. Even if they have a little, this card requires for you to have a full party. So if you cast this and your opponent sees it, they just go ahead, snipe somebody real quick, and then boom. That's pretty much the end of that card. So let's move on. We got Skyclave Appropriation, something like that. So 3-drop, double white, creature, core spirit. It's a rare. It says when Skyclave enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target non-land, non-token permanent you don't control with converted mana 4, cost 4 or less. So no tokens and no lands. Says when Skyclave leaves the battlefield, the exiled card's owner creates an XX blue illusion creature token, where X is the converted mana cost of the exiled card. Now, a lot of people have been talking about this, how you can break, you know, thank God they said the no tokens, because I'm pretty sure people are starting to fantasize of some crazy things to do with this. But it's pretty cool. You can either take out like Lucky Clover. It's a 2-drop artifact. You can go ahead, take that out when they kill this creature, they just get a 2/2 creature, which I'd rather deal with a 2/2 creature than a Lucky Clover that's doubling every adventure card in their deck. So that's cool. Or you can, like Questing Beast. Questing Beast has Vigilance, Death Touch, and a whole bunch of text under it. I'd rather deal with a regular 4/4 with nothing else than a Questing Beast. So this card, I think, is going to be definitely in mono white, aggressive, pseudo control-ish, you know what I'm saying? Not an aggro, because this kind of doesn't fit in there, because it's only a 2/2 for a 3-drop. Not a good body, but the text is what counts. You can take out one of your own creatures, a 1/1, then all of a sudden you got a 4/4. So I like it. Pretty cool. We have, take a sip of my soda here, a Coomb Hellhound. It's a 1-drop red creature elemental dog. It says it has landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, a Coomb Hellhound gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Nice. Now this is what the dog's tribal has been missing. Like the big homie who I forget his YouTube channel, Dev. We all know Dev. Shout outs to Dev if you're listening. You probably not, but it's cool. This is what dog's been missing. Aggro, crazy text, and if you don't take care of it, it could get real nasty. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to get creative. I'm not sure if mono red, or usually dogs is what, red and white. If you got some way to add some extra lands, or maybe with the new set, there's a creature, I believe that's a red drop. Every time it deals damage to your opponent, you get to pick up a land and put it into your hand. So you can maybe be able to manipulate something like that. But I mean, even if you just play one land, it's a 2/3 for a 1-drop. Pretty saucy. We have Emira Wizard. It's a 5-drop merfolk wizard creature, and it says whenever you cast an instant, sorcery, or wizard spell, Emira Wizard gains flying until end of turn. And on the flip side, it's a land, and it comes in tapped. So this is one of those pseudo cards where you can play at the beginning if you need some lands, or if you play draw this card mid game or late game, you can actually have a fighting chance. A 4/3 for a 5-drop is not the best thing in the world, but it does beat pulling a land that comes in tapped. You see what I'm saying? So they don't want to over break it, which I definitely appreciate, because if it was a 6/6 for a 6-drop, or I mean, we don't want 666, but if it was a 5/5 for a 6-drop, then it's like, that's pushing it a little too much for this pseudo thing that they're trying to do. So I think making it kind of underpowered, but it gives you the flexibility to kind of go with the flow of your game match. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. Next card we have Into the Royal. I don't know. It's a 2-drop instant spell, kicker with 2. It says return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If this spell was kicked, draw a card. It's cool. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be better alternatives for this, but for a 2-drop bounce a card, cool, just like Brazen, done. But the kicker is for what you pay for 2 blues. Go ahead and bounce and draw a card. I think it'd be better if it was a kicker for 1, so it's a 3-drop instant speed bounce and draw, because normally draw cards for one is usually 1 drop, 2 drop, maybe 3 drop. So once again, it's cool, but I'm pretty sure people are gonna find better alternatives for this card. So it's pretty decent. We got Synchronized Spellcraft. Synchronized, yeah. It's a 5-drop, instant speed. Says when Synchronized Spellcraft deals 4 damage to target creature and X damage to that creature's controller, where X is the number of creatures in your party. Now, once again, it's more of a risk and reward type thing you're dealing with here, because it's a 5-drop, so that really sucks. So in a party, you're gonna have 4. You're gonna have a cleric, rogue, warrior, and a wizard. So you are essentially doing 4 damage to a target creature. If it had the option for planeswalker, I don't know why you just don't throw that in there for a 5-drop. But it says an X damage to that creature's controller. So you're essentially doing 8 damage divided between the two. So once again, like, if you can have a full party by turn 5, boom, cool. If you're trying to do 4 damage to a creature, then you might be going up against 1,000 something creature cards that have toughness 5 or higher. So 4 is not really worth a 5-drop. Once again, this might be a limited thing or a drafting card, but standard, I don't think so. Even in the most creative party standard deck that someone's gonna make, I don't see this, because it's just doing way too much. Next is anti-congestion. I don't know. It's a 2-drop, instant speed. Says counter target creature or planeswalker spell unless its controller pays 2. If an opponent has 8 or more cards in the graveyard, instead counter that spell, then scry 2. Now this is going to be Mill's best friend. Mill, other than you didn't say please card, where you can straight up counter a card and your opponent mills 3 cards. We thought that was cool, but this is not as aggressive as them milling cards, but this will be able to be a low costing counter card, because 3 is already, 2 is better than 3 in this instant. But and if you've been milling pretty well, then you get to scry 2, so set up for your next turn. So I think this is going to be definitely in some mill standard builds. Next we have Demon's Disciple. It's a 3-drop creature, human cleric. Says when Demon's Disciple enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature or a planeswalker. This sounds familiar, and I don't know his name. I'm not good with a catalog of cards in my head, but there is a card that already does this. So, and it seemed decent play. Like, it was there, especially, it's a headache when they just play this card and you only have one, planeswalker. So it's like, yeah, it got to go. So it's pretty much like a 3-drop removal with horrible stats, a 3/1. So, it is what it is. So let's go to the next one here. We have Grotag Night Runner. It's a 3-drop creature goblin rogue. They're really definitely pushing the party, because goblin rogue then is gonna be goblin human, like, just for the hell of it, you know what I'm saying? But it's a 3-drop. It says whenever Night Runner deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn. So this is definitely Red's version of card advantage. Instead of drawing a card, you know, obviously you already know, it's your way to kind of, you know, play some extra cards outside of your hand. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know if it's standard. I don't think, you know, it's cool if you don't really have no, you know, but I'm pretty sure there's other 3-drops, the party mechanics that will kind of better suit this position. So, because 3-drop is really important. So, let's move on. We got Kaiza, Royal Oil, because that's oil, so Royal, I don't know. Chaser. It's a blue and a red legendary creature, human wizard with flying and haste. That's pretty decent, but that's common for Izzet colors, you know what I'm saying? It has tap. The next instant or sorcery spell you cast this turn costs X less to cast, where X is the number of wizards you control as this ability resolves. So the thing I don't understand is that last piece of text where it says where wizards you control as this ability resolves. So it seems like if someone interrupts, you know, jumps in on a stack, then you don't get that, you know, X or cost X less to cast. So if they take out a wizard, then I don't know how they're gonna fix that on a stack, but it's just weird how they just added that last piece. So I'll just have to see how it's being played to kind of get a better feel of that, because that just sounds a little weird. But other than that, I think it's pretty saucy. It's gonna be a lot of, you know, Izzet wizards out there, so pretty solid. Next card, we got Sneaking Guide. So 1-drop creature, goblin, rogue. You pay 2, tap it. Target creature with powers 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. Pretty simple. You got to pay 2. Like I said, it's probably more of a limited drafting card, but mono red may. I mean, it's possible. So I mean, unless you can pay 2, tap a creature with powers 2 or less, and then after that resolves, go ahead and, you know, beef up that creature, and it can't be blocked. So I don't know. It might be something there. All right, bear with me now. Bear with me. All right, we got Ardent Electromancer. It's a 3-drop creature, human wizard. Says when Electromancer enters the battlefield, add 1 red for each creature in your party. So once again, if you have a nice handful of 1-drops that you've been playing throughout the turns, bam, 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 then you play this, then you can easily have 6 mana. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just kind of just freestyling that, but you know, turn 1, 1-drop, turn 2, 2 1-drops, turn 3, you know, a couple more party members, and then turn 4, go ahead and play this. Now you got plenty of red mana. So that's the only way I can see that card really doing its thing there. All right, so we got Kite Sail Cleric. Creature, of course, is a core cleric for a 1-drop with a kicker of 3. So you can pay 4. Already doesn't sound good. It's a 1/1, so it has flying. So it says when Kite Sail Cleric enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, tap up to 2 target creatures. Now, I don't like it. There is a adventure card. You can pay 2. The first half of it is you can pay 2, tap 2 target creatures. You can tap 2 creatures for 2, and then the other half is a 3-drop, and its body is a 2/3, and it has flying. So it's like, I guess, like if you're just adding this just for the party ability, cool. But other than that, it's like, I guess, like, if you want that party to work, but sure. Next card is Core Blade Master. It's a 2-drop core warrior creature. Now this one I'm actually interested in. Not for the party mechanic, but check this out. It has double strike. Equipped warriors you control have double strike. Now I am so sprung on building my Boros warrior tribal. Okay, I would definitely be using that new planeswalker. I forget her name right now, but this is perfect because equipped cards are being pushed, and some of them are pretty saucy, as we'll see. And I mean, equipped warriors you control have double strike. Bro, let them get trampled. Don't we have that? Embercleave? You know, oh, well, that already has double strike, but there's plenty of other attachments, hopefully, that might have trample or just already have a creature with trample. I don't know. I'll figure something out. But double strike for a 2-drop is a plus. So let's move on. We got Seafloor Stalker. It's a 3-drop creature, Merfolk Road. You can pay 5. Seafloor Stalker gets +1/+0 until end of turn, and this card can't be blocked this turn. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each creature in your party. This is actually pretty decent. If there is going to be a party, if there's definitely going to be a party, you definitely need this guy here, because anytime you can have unchecked damage to the face, it's cool. And you might have some, you know, some party tricks to go ahead and beat this dude up. You know what I'm saying? So an easy 4 damage to the face, can't block it. You know, you're good. So I think there is a creature that you can lessen the abilities of your party members. I don't know. I think it is. I wish if it's not, but let's move on. Because this guy is screaming torrential Gearhulk to me. It's Ashaya, Soul of the Wild. It's a 5-drop. Legendary creature, elemental. Now we're getting somewhere. It says, when Soul of the Wild's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. So it's just like Beanstalk Giant. It says, non-token creatures you control are forest lands in addition to their other types. That's gross. This is gonna do so much damage, bro. What I don't like, if I just got to nitpick, what I don't like is it's a 5-drop, and there's so many good 5-drop creatures for mono green or Gruel. You know what I'm saying? So many good 5-drops. Now, it'd be crazy, but I'm going to say it. If it was a 6-drop, I would be much happier. Because it's like I can have Questing Beasts 4-drop. I can have a countless of amazing creatures for the 5-drop. And then 6-drop is really kind of flaky. You know what I'm saying? Like you got the ape who can become indestructible. Just bounce a human. Cool. And it's like a 7/6. But if you can have that and maybe 2 copies of this, or 3 if you're really, you know, living life on the edge, cool. But I'm really gonna struggle putting this in my 5 spot because there's so many great creatures for your 5-drop. So, and it's an $8 card. That's crazy. We got Resolute Strike. It's a 1-drop, instant speed. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's a warrior, you may attach an equipment you control to it. Now this is good. Like I told you, warriors, I think is going to be a better warrior build than a party build. You know what I'm saying? You have Embercleave on the battlefield. Creature died, so it's sitting there on the side. You don't want to pay that 3, so what do? Give a creature +2/+2 and then attach Embercleave to it. Now let's just, you know, add this dude right here. Teeter Peak Ambusher. He's a 1/3 at +2/+2. So all of a sudden he has 3 attack. Add Ember Cleave, that's 4. So now you got a double strike trample with 4. Pretty gross. So this card will definitely be seeing play in my books. You know what I'm saying? But let's go to the sorry sucker here, Ambusher. He's a 2-drop creature, Goblin Warrior. First there's a Goblin Wizard, now a Goblin Warrior. There's going to be a Goblin Cleric, and yeah, we get the point. You pay 3, Ambusher gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Not good. Once again, limited or drafting, but definitely not standard. You gonna pay 3? There's definitely other creatures that you can play way less and get just as much for your buck. So next we got Bushfire into Elemental. Elemental is gonna be pretty saucy. It's a 2-drop, red and a green. Haste, which is cool. Brushfire Elemental can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, and has ability Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, Bushfire Elemental gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So ain't no chump blocking with some measly 1/1s. So you're gonna have to, you know, put out to take care of this creature, you know. But it does have a low enough toughness so you can't shock it. So once again, to me, it's a good balance, because if it was out of shock range, then it's like, yeah, that could be a little broken, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's pretty cool. Next we got Mekindai Ox. It's a 5-drop. I don't even want to read this. It already sounds like it's gonna be a headache, but 5-drop Ox creature, landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, tap target creature and opponent controls. For a 5-drop, if it was a 4-drop, now we talking. For a 4/4 body, 4-drop, maybe even a 5-drop is like, you can, if you really love the art, you can push this into any day. But for, I don't know. We'll see. Once again, I think there's going to be other 5-drops, especially in this new set, that people would prefer to play. Next card we got Rabid Bite. Rabid. Not rabbit, but Rabid Bite. It's a 2-drop sorcery speed. That kind of sucks. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. So it's like a ram through, but without the extra text, and it's sorcery speed. So I can see this being played like if you're running 4 copies of ram through and you want that extra 1 or that extra 2 to make it saucy. Boom, there you go. We got Field Research, 3-drop sorcery speed, kicker with 3. Says draw 2 cards. If this spell was kicked, draw 3 cards instead. I think that's pretty solid. You know, like I told you, a 3-drop, you're usually drawing 2 cards, so that's common. For 4-drop, 3 cards, if you got the extra mana at that moment, why not? So pretty cool. Next we got Risen Riptide. It's a 3-drop elemental creature. It says whenever you cast a kick spell like the one we just mentioned, Risen Riptide has base power and toughness 5/5 until end of turn. So right now, without anything being kicked, it's a hell of a defense card. It's not a defender, which is important, but it's a 0/5. So if you kick anything, don't kick me, but if you kick a card, don't kick my cards. It's a 5/5. So this is more of a you can be creative in an all kick deck, you know what I'm saying, and just have this sitting in a cut, you know what I'm saying, like almost like a riddle form, but a creature, you know what I'm saying. Like it sits there, it's not gonna really do anything but block, which can be important. But then once you kick something, all of a sudden it's a 5/5. Now if it had trample, I think this would be a card worth definitely worth noting. But I mean, just with it being a 5/5 toughness and power, it's pretty decent. I like it. All right, next we got this ugly card here. Like, I don't know how they, just took a picture of it. We have Gruel, Drast, Mucklord. Yeah, some funky art there, but it's a 3-drop creature crocodile, and it says when Mucklord dies, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. It's cool. Better 3 drops. Yeah. If it was 2, now we talking. If it entered the battlefield, putting a +1, and then dying, putting a +1, then it's like, now we talking. But 2/3, I guess, if you really just want to throw that card in your deck. So next we got Hagrug Constrictor. I like that art. It's a 3-drop creature snake. Hagrug Constrictor enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it has menace. Now this is an interesting card because what is that? Not Mardu. Rakdos menace is a thing. I actually tried to build it, and I like the shell of it, but it seems like it's just missing a little bit more. So I think with this, if it has the flexibility of putting +1 counters on a creature that doesn't have menace and now making it have menace. So now it's a little bit easier to get that menace theme deck going on instead of having creatures with menace and those creatures are whack as hell. So I actually like this card. So boom, there you go. We have Oblivion's Hunger. 2-drop instant speed. Target creature you control gains indestructible until end of turn. Draw a card. If that creature has a +1 counter on it. Boom, there you go. So I mean, this card could work with Constrictor, you know what I'm saying? So boom, there you go. And as this card here, black has a lot of not new mechanics, but a lot of newish, I guess, to its color wheel, because now it's a 2-drop instant speed, and it says choose one or both. It's target creature gets -1/-1 till end of turn. And the other mode is put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. So I mean, you see how easy it is to put a +1 counter on a creature, and you can have black-red creatures because this fits right in it. It's an instant speed pseudo card, and it's a 2-drop. Like, easy peasy right there. We have Utility Knife, 1-drop artifact equipment. When Utility Knife enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. Excuse me. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, and it has equip 3. Now, what I'm starting to notice, hold on, getting a little parched here. What I'm starting to notice, and this is what I feel equipment cards have been missing to make them playable, and is this text right here. When Utility Knife enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. So you don't have to pay 1 to play it and then separately pay 3 to attach it to a creature. So essentially you're paying 4. You can just pay 1 and then attach it to a creature. So it's not like you're just a dead turn, because that's turn 4 if you play it on curve. Like, no one's gonna play this card. But for the cool ones still listening, I'm gonna play this in my deck, in my Burrows Warriors deck, because you just pay 1, target creature gets +1/+1, and all the warrior effects that happen after that is cool. And I don't want to give up my game plan, but I think that first piece of text makes a world of a difference. let's continue. Now, some of these cards, we kind of hit already, so we may skip some of them. So this one, we got Tormenting Voice. You pay 2 sorcery speed. Says as an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card. Then you draw 2 cards. So we heard. Actually, this is a reprint, I believe. So same thing. Let's see. We already went over Legion Angel. It's cool. Keep one in your sideboard, and you always have, a twin with you. So that's cool. We went over Hellhound. Drana, I think we went over on the last video. So, boom, check that out if you want my opinion on that whack card. It's like, it's cool. Coveted Prize. It's a 5-drop. Sorcery speed. It's a rare. It says this spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature in your party. So if you have a party of 4, you can essentially pay 1. So once again, it's that risk reward type thing. It says search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. If you have a full party, you may cast a spell with converted mana 4 or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. Like I said, it's a risk and reward type thing. If you can protect the battlefield with all you got, if they kill a creature, you put 2 more creatures down. If they wipe the board, you just bury the board with a bunch of 1-drops. Then you play this card. Then you go ahead, dig in your library for a 4-drop that'll do some crazy damage, and you play it for free. You know what I'm saying? So great card if you can pull it off. If you do, bravo, pat on the back. I'll give you a cookie. But if not, then it's just going to be sitting in your hand while you're losing. We discussed the land here. This elf, it's cool. It's a 2-drop elf. And they're just pushing. It's like this card is also a cleric, road, warrior, and wizard. It's like, bro, if she's all this, her power and her toughness is way below to be having all these skills. Really? Don't think so. But it says when this card enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, reveal the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a card that shares a creature type with it from among them into your hand, and put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I guess. All this just to do that, and the kicker is 3, so you're essentially paying 5. Not gonna cut it. All right, we got. I don't know if we already discussed this dude. Yeah, we did. Cleric, lifelink. When a cleric dies, bring something back from the battlefield with converted mana less than that dying card. It's all right. Next, we got. Let's see. This is cool. This is actually interesting because it's not black. Usually, Return to the Graveyard has some sort of black mana and it added to it. So, on one half, it's a 3-drop sorcery speed. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Quick and simple. On the other half, it enters into the battlefield as a tap land, as a green tap land. So, once again, like pseudo, they're just trying to give you options, which I think is amazing. Next, we got Kalayan, I don't know, Ambush. It's a 3-drop instant speed. Target creature you control fights creature you don't control. For a 3-drop, to me, a little too much. If it was 2, then it'd be like, this will be in every mono green. But 3-drop, nah. I mean, it still might, because once again, you get the option of having it turn into a tapped land. for green. So, you know, to each his own. It's cool. All right, hold on. Let's just look. Ooh, we got so much. We got so much. All right. Let's see. Where did we leave off? Right here. All right. So we got Sedgieri Shelter. It's a 2-drop, 2 sides, instant speed. Target creature you control gains protection from the other color, from another color, from the color, from the color of your choice until end of turn. I like it. Instant speed, 2-drop, not hard on the mana. Perfect. In the early game, if you need land, go ahead and play it. If you don't, keep this in your hand, and it's a 2-drop, easy to get out there. I like it. Let's see. Then we got Prowling Philadare. Philadare, I guess. This art is actually pretty cool. It says it's a 4-drop creature cat beast with vigilance. Landfall ability. Whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on this dude. That's pretty tight. I think this is going to be a fun card to play with, especially if you're building a landfall, a white-green landfall. I think this would be cool, especially with the 2-drop that doubles the +1 counters. Perfect. Easy. I mean, you just play land and you're good. So let's see, how long is this video? 47 minutes. So you know what, this is going to be part 3 here. I don't want to show the rest of these cards, so this will be part 3. And if you guys want to see the rest of these spoilers with my opinion that don't mean nothing, because you're gonna play what you want to play regardless of what people say. But if you just want to be entertained, go ahead, like this video, share it, do all that crazy stuff, and watch the next video. Hopefully, if you're watching this one, there's part 4, and you can just keep hearing my soothing radio voice. So once again, it's your boy Black Hammer, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.